Hey everybody, Cody with Princess Craft RV. Come along with me today as we go through the 2025 XT12HR Off Grid Extreme, or OGE as we like to call them. Let's start up right here in the front with the coupler. This is going to ride on the DO35 Cruise Master coupler. Comes with all the components you need to get it assembled, and it's a quick and easy latching system. It's almost like a pin. It's going to come in, you're going to back in underneath it. You're going to drop the trailer down onto that pin, and you're going to push down on this little red button, and it's going to close that latch. Now this thing can swivel up and down, back and forth, all the good stuff going on there. To release it, you push down on the pin, and you're just going to push back on this piece, let up on the red pin, and that locks it open. It also has a cover. The cool thing about this cover is it cannot be installed if you haven't latched onto the DO35 pin correctly. So that cannot be put on as a safety check measure. We've also got a handbrake here in the front to help keep this thing from moving around while you're in it. We've got your large safety chains on each side. They're going to hook up to the receiver hitch on the tow vehicle. We like to cross these and make a basket underneath the coupler. We've also got your safety breakaway cable that's going to hook up to the tow receiver. We've got your 7-pin cable here to run all your lights and brakes on your trailer. And the MDCs also come equipped with a 2-pin Anderson style connector for a DC to DC charger installed inside the trailer. Crank jack on the front. It's going to be a side crank. Crank it up and down for height. Once you need to travel, you do pull this handle straight out, and then you can swivel the jack to where you need it. It's also got another pull lever on the side here. So if you can't achieve the right height, you can slide this whole jack up and down in the mount housing by pulling this lever out on the side here. Moving on from there, you do have a water spigot in the front, and it is just for that. It is just for water. You will see that it is an insulated supply line. As part of the OGE package, it gets fully insulated. Right behind that, we are going to find your propane storage. It's going to be pin locked on both sides. And then your latches. And then this will just fold down to expose your 2 propane cylinders. These are standard 20-pound propane cylinders. They can be exchanged or refilled. You get 1 supply hose, hook it up to the cylinder you need to use. On both sides of that, you do have your jerry can holders. And before we move around to the other side, let's go ahead and go over the stabilizers on the trailer. You are going to have 4-corner stabilizers that are going to swing down. You're going to pull the blue handle, swing the jack down, and you want to try to achieve as much of a 90-degree angle to the ground as you can. Obviously, this is an off-road trailer. You may not be able to achieve that, so you want to get it as close to 90 as possible. Once you get it there, you're going to take your crank handle, and you're just going to crank your jack down to the ground. Apply a little bit of pressure, and that's all you need to do on that. To crank it back up, it's just the opposite. Crank it all the way back up. Pull the handle out, store the jack for travel. All right, moving down the driver's side of the trailer here, starting right up front, we are going to have your 30-amp power inlet. It's going to take your 30-amp short cord. You're just going to match up your prongs on your cord, plug it in, twist. You're going to twist the cord slightly, and then there's going to be a lock ring you just want to snug down. We want to make sure we get a good tight connection there so we don't have any movement or heat generation that we don't need. Storage compartment right behind that is just going to be a small storage compartment where you can store your things. All of the storage doors on here have a twist to lock, so they actually pull the door in. Makes them a good weather-tight seal. We're going to have your Truma exhaust, so make sure that doesn't get covered anytime you're running your Truma furnace. We don't want any burns or anything coming out of there, or fires or anything like that. Right next to that, we're going to have your Truma water heater. Not a whole lot to do in here, but it does have a power switch to turn the unit on and off. Leave it in the on position because we can control it from the inside. We're also going to have your drain, which you're going to push up on this black tab, pull down on the yellow handle, and there is a filter plus drain that pulls out of here. This is part of the winterization process. It drains this mixing vessel. You want to make sure you do that in cold weather because it could freeze and crack, and that is a notorious part for cracking. Part of the OGE package is you do get the winterization piece of this water heater. It's going to be a heated filter that goes in here, so it slides in, it plugs in here, and can be controlled from the inside, so you can keep that on so your unit doesn't freeze and you can keep water in it. Right behind that's going to be our wet bay or our water hookups. So we're going to have our city water inlet, our outside shower, and our freshwater fills. You're going to have two caps there. They're kind of like a lockable gas cap. It's going to have a key to unlock it and take it out. This is also an insulated compartment, part of the OGE package. You can pass your water hoses. You can take this cap off here, pass your water hoses through to make all your connections so you can keep the door closed. Moving on back, wheels and tires. These do have maintenance intervals, all of that good jazz, just like your car does. Wheel bearings are recommended generally around 10,000 miles or 1 year to get those inspected and repacked, replace your wheel seals. Lug nuts need to be checked for periodic torque during your ownership, especially after wheels are removed for service. Here at the very back, we're going to find your cassette toilet door. The top one's going to be lockable, the bottom one's just a push button release. This is going to be filled out here. This is going to swing out. You'll take the green cap off, you'll take your water hose, jug, whatever, however you're using water, and you're just going to pour water into it, and you're going to see the sight tube right here fill up with water. So that's essentially your gauge for water level. To dump your cassette, when it's full, we're going to push up on the green level here and just slide it out. We're going to take the whole unit out. Now, this can be toted on the ground. It's got a pull handle and wheels, so if it's too heavy for you, you can do it that way. Now to dump it, we're going to swing our spout out, take our cap off. We're going to pick this up, we're going to take it to a dump, to the toilet, wherever you want to do it. We're going to push down on this vent release, and then we're just going to dump the tote wherever we're dumping it. When we're done with that, we can take and slide this cover off, and we can open the cassette up manually. And now we have the ability to get in there and spray it out and clean it out, make sure it's good and clean before we reinstall it. When you're done with that, make sure you close that flap back before you put this one back on. Otherwise the cassette will not slide back in as it's supposed to. And then we're gonna just take it, and we're gonna roll it all the way back in there until our green clip, locking clip there, is back in place. All right, moving on to the back side of the XT12, we've got your spare tire. Full-size spare tire for you there in case you get a flat out on the trail. We do have your roof access ladder so you can get up, clean your solar panels, inspect your roof, make sure everything's going good up there. We've got a rear spotlight, backup camera, gray tank flush so you can take that cap out of there and get some water in there to flush that tank out. And we've also got 3 more Anderson connectors here at the bottom for additional portable solar panels that can handle up to 200 watts each port. So you can really crank up the solar capacity on this unit and really get off grid with it. Before we hop inside, a few other things underneath that you'll want to check out is going to be the tank drain plugs. They're big plastic plugs that are going to screw into the side of the tanks. That's also your drains. There are some other low point drains underneath and your gray water drain on the driver's side underneath the trailer. All right, coming inside the door of the XT12 here, right on your right, we're going to find quite a bit of switches. These first 7 right here, these are going to be for exterior lighting, and then the entry light right here in your stepwell. Now these switches, because this is an Australian unit, go down to turn on, not up. So keep that in mind. If you flip them up, that is in the off position, not the on position. Next to that, you're going to find your receptacle and AC isolator switch. So this shuts off power flow to all of your 110 receptacles and the air conditioner, or turns them on. Next to that, we are going to find your awning switches. So you're going to find a main power on off switch, and then you're going to have one that says open close. So in order to get your awning to extend or retract, the main power switch does need to be on, and then you can extend or retract your awning. Above that, we will find your fire extinguisher. It does have a gauge on it. It needs to be in the green. Replace it if it's not. And then we've got a stereo speaker. All of our drawers and cabinets in here use push and twist latches. So you're gonna push the button in to get it to pop out, and then you're gonna rotate it to pull the latch in so you can get it to open. All right, so in the kitchen back here at the back of the XT12, we do have a 3-burner cooktop with a glass top cover to give you more space when it's closed. Now to get these lit, as soon as you push down on the button, you'll hear that it starts sparking to light the burner. So this cooktop is wired into the 12-volt electrical system of the trailer, so it has auto ignition, real easy to use. You don't have to carry a stick lighter. For the vent hood, you are gonna have built-in fan and lighting. You also have a grease filter up here that does need to be cleaned periodically. Check it, clean it as needed. We do have overhead storage in both spots here. Do have a 110 outlet. We do have a 12-volt accessory charging stations here with a USB-A, USB-C, and a cigarette lighter style port there for you. Kitchen sink is going to have a glass cover as well with a foldable spout. So that does need to be folded away before you close it, and then you're going to have hot and cold water. Underneath, we are going to have more storage as well as plumbing access. And you will see that these have the venting in the doors. That's going to be for heat flow to those lines during the winter time so things don't freeze up. Overhead, we do have a skylight that has a day-night shade built into it as well as lighting. And it also opens. This is going to open very similar to your windows. It's going to have a push button latch that you're going to push and then rotate. And then you're going to be able to just push this open, and you can push it all the way open to where it stays open on its own, as it does have a strut, or you can pull it partly closed and it's got some little latches that'll swing over that arm and hold it into a ventilated position. So if it's raining outside, you can still pop it open and not have to worry about water coming in. And then once you need to put it away, you're just going to fold those away, pull it all the way shut, push your handle up to store it, and then lock your latches. Just over our bathroom door, you'll find that we do have a clothes rack here where you can hang towels or swimming suits or whatever you need to hang there. Let's go check out the bathroom. All right, so inside the XT12 wet bath, we've got your cassette toilet in here. To use this, you are going to find that you've got a blue push button over here. That button, when you push it down, that's how you're going to pump your water that we put in from the outside into the bowl of the toilet. Do your business. Once you got all that done, there is a manual lever over here that you're going to open, and that's going to allow everything to drop down into that cassette, and then you'll close it back. Make sure you're using plenty of water, some type of tank treatment to at least control odors and digestion of whatever it is you're putting in there. We do have a vent fan in here that has reversible airflow. It is a manual open. We're going to crank it open, and then you've got a switch here right by the crank that has a positive or negative on it. That's going to determine which way the air is going to flow. The plus is actually going to pull the air in. The negative is going to pull the air out. And then we've got a light switch on board. Hot and cold shower, obviously, and the shower head can be adjusted up and down for height and comfort. All right, right next to the bathroom, we're going to have 2 storage compartments. Top one, it's going to have your vanity mirror in it. It's also got your Atta room from MDC in here. We do have a video on those. Check that out on how to put it together, take it down. This device with the red light hanging on the wall is going to be your antenna booster. You can change the gain on it. It does have a dial to help strengthen that signal if you need to. Down low, we're going to have some storage space, and then all the way down to the floor, we're going to have your water pump. So down here at the water pump, you'll see we've got 2 valves. These are going to be the valves that you're going to use to select the fresh water tank that your water pump would pull from if you're not hooked to city water. I believe this one's going to be for the rearward tank, and this one's going to be for the forward tank. So when the valve is in line with the water line, that means that that valve is open. When it is perpendicular to the water line, that means it's closed. So right now we would be pulling water from the forward tank and not from the rearward tank. If you wanted to switch it, you're just going to turn the valve and then turn that valve, and then you'll be pulling from the other tank. And that's it down there. All right, right here at one of our dinette benches overhead, we are going to have all of our control switches, our monitor panel, our DC home 1-core display, so you can do a lot of things with this thing. You can manage it all of your 12 volt resettable breakers, all of your switches to turn everything on and off, and your battery disconnect, one of 2 battery disconnects. Right below that, we are going to find your breaker panel that's going to have 2 of your 120 volt breakers in it. We're going to have your main, which is rated at 30 amps, and the inverter breaker rated at 20 amps. Right below that, we've got a 110 outlet, and then we've got your TV connections. We've got your cable inlet and your 12 volt power. The TV is on a pretty long swing arm, so we can get some good movement on it. It is 12 volt power, so you can watch it anytime without having to run the inverter. And it has a built-in DVD player on it, so you don't have to bring a DVD with you, or a separate DVD player with you. All right, so Truma control. So a couple things on that. You've got 2 switches up here in the overhead cabinet, one for water heater, one that says furnace. That furnace switch is going to be the main power for this. Now, you also need to go ahead and turn your water heater control on before you power this panel up, because it goes through an initialization process looking for products that would be attached to it before you power it up. So if you wait and power it up after the fact, it may not recognize it. So you want to get everything powered up. If you're going to be on the inverter, the air conditioner is going to need to be powered up and everything. At least have the inverter running before you turn this panel on and let it initialize and find all of the Truma controlled products. Once you get that completed though, this is going to be your home screen, which is just your clock. To get operation, you're going to push in on the wheel, and you're going to see we've got a flashing caravan. We're going to have a liquid type thermometer, and then we've got fan speed. So to set our air conditioner, we're going to push in. The first thing that's going to pop up is heater. You're going to roll the dial, then you're going to see AC. Push again, it's going to come up as off. Now you can scroll through off, vent, cool, auto. So if you want to do cool, you're going to select it, push the button again, then select your temperature, push the button again, and then it's going to come on. Now if you want to change your fan speed, scroll over to the fan blade, push the button, and then select low, medium, or high. To do furnace, it would just be the opposite. If you need to turn the AC off, you're going to scroll back to AC, scroll this to the off position, turn that off. If we want to do the heater, we're going to select the caravan, select heat, and then roll your temperature to your desired temperature, push the button. That's going to start our heating process. To turn it off, you're going to push the button, go to heater, push it again, scroll this all the way down till it says off, push the button again. To do the water heater, we're going to roll over to this one here, push the button, roll to what mode we want to be in, whether it be eco mode, comfort mode, or antifreeze mode. That antifreeze mode is where you can install that antifreezing device into the water heater. It has to be in antifreeze mode to operate. Comfort mode is going to heat water a little quicker than eco mode. Settings down here, I would recommend you going through the Truma operation manual on how to mess with any of that down there. Okay, underneath the dinette bench below the TV, we're going to find your Renogy Rego 3000 watt inverter. We're going to have your battery, main battery disconnect here. We're going to find a bunch of 12 volt fuses that are going to be labeled stereo, stability control, breakaway device. So all of these fuses are under here. That 1 amp, if I remember correctly, is for your LP detector. This is going to be the Renogy DC to DC and MPPT controller. So it's the DC to DC charging piece as well as the MPPT solar controller. And then we've got your main fuse for that here. And the other fuse here for one of these will be for solar, one will be for the DC to DC piece. Inverter control, you do not have to have this opened up to get to it. There's a switch on the front that is set to remote. So we do have our remote on and off button right down here. It's as simple as pushing that button in and out. If you have no lights on at all, it's completely turned off. Next to that, we're gonna have your LPCO alarm down here by the floor, as well as some ventilation for the Renogy inverter. So on the other side of the dinette overhead, we do have 2 storage compartments. We're gonna have your other audio speaker as well as your CD player slash radio. You're gonna have your light switches on the wall here. We're gonna have accent lighting. We're gonna have some under cabinet lighting, and then we've got little puck lights as well. So all of those switches there. And then in the dinette bench, we are gonna have a little bit of storage space for you. So a couple things in our dinette space here. First off, we do have a wireless charge pad in here. There is a DC outlet switch in our main 12-volt panel. Once that's turned on, you can place your phone in there and it will go into charging. And according to my Android device, it is a fast wireless charge. So that's pretty cool. Should go pretty quick there. For our Lagoon table here, so this can be rotated and moved around. You will see that it's got a bunch of different levers on it, and that's going to be all for adjusting this table, setting it up how you like it. This table can be positioned in the middle or all the way out here on the end. Let me take this tabletop off. I'll show you what I mean. So you'll see that you do have two spaces here for that tabletop. So you can place it in either one to get the spacing that you need. Now this can be completely disassembled and removed. So if you really need to open up your space, you can. You can take these completely off. And everything slides up and off the wall to really give you a nice open floor space. All right, so just a couple more things to cover in the XT12. Under the mattress here, we're gonna have this access door. This is going to give you the access to the backside of your Truma AquaGo and your Truma furnace. So a couple things in here. We've got propane shutoff valves, one for the furnace, one for the water heater. And then we've got these 3 turn valves here. These are going to be the bypass valves for your water heater for winterization purposes. So again, these are just like the other valves that we spoke about. When they're in line with the water line, that means water is flowing through them, like these two here, and when it's perpendicular to the line, it doesn't flow. So for winterization, you would close both of these, and you're gonna open this one, and that allows the water to bypass the water heater, so no water goes into it. If you leave this one open and these two open, you will get random warmish water, or maybe not. So make sure you have those in the right position. The last compartment is gonna be this one back here, and that is going to be your 400 amp hour Renogy Rego battery. Provides all the DC power, 400 amp hours. Should get you running for quite a long time. All right, guys, typically we wrap these up outside, but I didn't want Clint to get his camera all wet, so here we are in the doorway. If you've got any other questions about the MDC XT12 OGE, reach out to Princess Craft and Katie or Round Rock. Let's check it out.